Ricky Carmichael is no stranger to perfect scores and records. He's got more titles and more wins than anyone. But Southwick and Jeff Stanton still hold a record that Ricky is after. Most consecutive 250 wins here. A win today, and Carmichael takes home another piece of motocross history, one of the few he doesn't already own. While RC races for the record books, the rest of Lerner will take more than speed to win, more than strength and more than talent. It's about heart and how bad they really want it. The 250 AMA Motocross Championships continue on ESPN2. Hello everyone, and welcome to beautiful Southwick, Massachusetts Motocross 338 for round 3 of AMA Chevrolet Motocross. It is the 250 class, and the fans have packed the place, more than 20,000, to see Ricky Carmichael try to continue his winning ways. These are the Suzuki Nationals, and I am your host, Davey Coombs, joined by Cameron Steele. They packed the place to watch number 4, the undisputed leader of the 250 class, defending national champion, Ricky Carmichael. He's got a lot of records, but this is one that would be special to him because it belongs to Jeff Stanton. They share it now, but Ricky wants it, and we talked to him about the record and about Southwick.
It's like I said, it's a great place. You know, I feel really comfortable here. I have a lot of wins here, and I'm just looking forward to going out and try to keep the streak rolling. You know, the 450 is awesome. I feel good, you know, physically and mentally. And just looking forward to going out, racing my own race.
Well, Carmichael is the points leader after 4 motos, 2 rounds. He's got a perfect score of 100. He's gapped Kevin Windham by 16 points. Carmichael off to a fast start, and Windham knows he's got to pick it up.
You know, if I had a 5, 6, 7 second lead, you know, halfway through the race, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. If Ricky was gaining a second on me here, a second on me there, you would almost allow it just because, you know, you can monitor the guys behind you. And I'm sure that's probably what he was thinking. And you know, he was comfortable with the cushion, which was, you know, right there around the 5 second mark. But you know, I kept him honest, and that feels good. And definitely need to take it one step further and get a win under my belt.
Well, besides the Hondas of Carmichael and Windham, there's this man, Australia's Chad Reed, the newly crowned AMA Supercross champion. He has finished 3rd just about, well, ever since the outdoor season started. And then there's also Sean Hamblin, and he's our top 2-stroke rider, Cameron.
He's put in some great performances. I think he's really looking forward to today at Southwick. Had a big smile on his face in the pit.
Tell us about the track here at Motocross 338.
Well, a little bit different. They're not going to be doing as much grooming this week. It will be rougher, and also less water on the track. The sand won't be packing up as much, which means it's deeper and sharper holes.
Well, this 2004 Southwick National marked the first one where legendary founder Bernie Yellen is not around. There's the mule that Bernie was always on. Bernie, of course, passed away earlier this year. Cameron is with another Southwick legend.
We're loading the gate up right now for the first 250cc moto, and I'm joined by Doug Henry. And Doug, it seems like a little bit of the changing of the times. Bernie Yellen, the founder here at Motocross 338, he passed away this year. And then yourself, you're not racing. You've won here 3 times yourself. Mike Treadwell, John Dowd, some of the names that we're so familiar with aren't here. Does it seem like a different kind of race here at Southwick?
I don't think so. I know, you know, we're all going to miss Bernie. I mean, it was just seeing him drive around in his mule every time you pull into the race was something, you know, it kind of just made it feel like you were here, and we're all going to miss him. And as far as, you know, myself, John, Keith, Mike, you know, we're not here for this one, but we'll definitely be back for, you know, many more.
Well, Doug Henry not racing this year as he normally does, but he did get out and take a little parade lap. He did it on his Troy Lee designed Supermoto bike. Doug, a new contender in the AMA Red Bull Supermoto Championships. But back to Southwick, this is not a Supermoto cross track by any means. Perfect weather, perfect conditions. Take a look at our Honda starting grid. Carmichael, Windham, Reed, David Vuillemin, Sean Hamblin, all lined up right about in the middle of the box. Also, keep an eye on number 108, Joaquin Rodriguez, the KTM rider, making a return. The veteran Barry Karsten, always a pleasure to see him in the AMA Nationals. Rounding out the field, Jason Thomas, another Floridian. The 32nd board is sideways. We are getting ready to start the 2004 Suzuki Nationals at Southwick. You're looking over Ricky Carmichael's shoulder.
Windham to the left, and Voss getting a little swirly. Ricky straight out. Perfect line. Oh, a couple riders down. Really just a fall over there in the sand, but you know, hey, it's tricky here in Southwick.
Carmichael with an excellent start on the 450 Honda. Nick Way second. Craig Anderson, a good start. Remember, Anderson won the 125 class last year, and way back in the middle of the pack, you caught a glimpse of number 36. That was Sean Hamblin. So Carmichael immediately seizes control of this race. Way a second. That's Kyle Lewis on the outside. Number 23 gets passed by Chad Reed. Kyle Lewis finally back after a long layoff.
Yeah, he had a big injury in Europe, broken shoulder and punctured lung, and collapsed lung, I should say. And just great to have him back up there. I was talking to him. He's not 100% yet, but he's feeling pretty good.
He's off to a good start here. So Carmichael already gapping the field a little bit. Way is second, and now Reed passes Ando, his cousin and his fellow Australian, to move into third. There's Reed. He has moved into third, but already he's got his work cut out for him. Cameron, check out this start. That's picture perfect by Carmichael.
Well, it's tough to come off the asphalt and keep the bike straight. Look at that. His body never moves. I mean, watch his body position. He's perfect all the way. Guys next to him wheel up. He starts to get swirly. Ricky just smooth. Perfect out of that gate.
It seemed like his front wheel was about an inch off the pavement and standing the whole way. A perfect start. Carmichael just having the complete game so far in his comeback. And this is the rider a lot of people thought would give Ricky the most trouble, Kevin Windham. But so far, bad starts have kept Windham from really challenging Carmichael.
Well, when you talk to Kevin Windham here at Southwick, he's a guy that's confident about his racing ability, so he's going to come out of here well, but definitely doesn't like racing in the sand.
Right now he's coming up behind Craig Anderson, and then that is Jeff Gibson from Ohio holding on to fifth on the Yamaha. There is Windham. He has passed Kyle Lewis, and now this is the battle for third. Anderson is leading Gibson and Windham, and you can see, well, you can't see him. Carmichael and Way have already pulled out.
Yeah, adios. I mean, those guys are on the gas and trying to gap these guys.
Windham on the outside. He's going to try to pass Gibson as they come out of the bottom. They go into the new section. This was new last year. Down through the outside. Windham taking the far line, and he is able to make a pass on both riders. So in one small section there, Kevin Windham is able to move into fourth place. He passes a couple guys, but he's got a ways to go if he's going to catch up to Chad Reed. There's your leader, Carmichael, is on the gas, starting to pull away a little bit. And now here comes Chad Reed. And let's go down the mechanics area. Cameron is with Darren Sorensen.
That looks like a little bit of a look of frustration.
Yeah, he was on Ricky's pace the first couple laps, actually gained a little bit of time, but he lost 2 seconds that lap. So, I don't know, I just want to keep him focused and make sure he wants to win. Doesn't want to win second.
Stays in second moto, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure, got to be consistent, and I know he's going to have that picture in the back of his mind, but win would be nice for this moto, too.
Well, we've seen Chad Reed ride really fast here. We've also seen him get hurt, and going back a little bit, now Nick Way has dropped back off the pace. He is back in the fourth now as both Reed and Windham get by the Suzuki factory rider. Back out front, Carmichael staying clean, staying smooth, staying right in the middle of the track. Cameron looks like he's picked the roughest part out. And look at the size of that lead. That is astonishing this early in the moto.
Well, I was talking to Chad Reed. He said he's really getting used to the four-stroke, and he's also feeling like the four-stroke delivery is so good for him. He's really going to get faster on the bike.
Of course, Ricky Carmichael will be switching next year to a Suzuki two-stroke, but for now, he's out front and in control on the factory Honda here at Southwick. Carmichael, Reed, and Windham are your leaders.
We're out. We're out.
In MotoGP, American Nicky Hayden races the most dominant motorcycle in the world, the Honda RC211V, champion every year since MotoGP began. We built a version for you. The Honda CBR 1000RR. Twin spar aluminum frame, center-up exhaust, unit Pro-Link suspension. It's as close as you can get to the RC211V, and it's as close as your Honda dealer. The CBR 1000RR from Honda.
What's that?
Metamucil.
Get out. That's a cookie.
The power of powder in a wafer. Tastes so good, you won't believe it's Metamucil. Get regular, stay regular. The cookie way.
Now on DVD.
You cost us the game!
I just want to play football. Playmakers, the most controversial series of the season.
Who is she?
This is who you are with Smash Mouth Extras.
I will snap you at the knees!
Playmakers, the 3-disc box set. Own it today.
The 2004 AMA Chevrolet Motocross Championships are brought to you by Suzuki, maker of performance-driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. By Chevrolet, 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. The new Chevrolets, an American revolution. And by Cycle World magazine, check out the 10 best bikes of 2004 in the July issue on newsstands now. We are back to the Suzuki Nationals in Southwick, Massachusetts, and out front, all by himself, Ricky Carmichael continues to cut the fastest line around what is easily the roughest track these riders have seen so far this summer. Carmichael, undefeated up to this point, and well on his way, Cameron, to another win.
Well, a lot of people questioned whether the four-stroke would fit Ricky's style, and right now, 3 races in, you got to say, hey, he fits just about anything he gets his leg over.
He's certainly been dominant so far. He's done it in California, going 1-1 at the first round. He did it in Pennsylvania at the second round. And now, well out in front here in New England. Now, going back to 5th, that's Sean Hamblin, the factory Suzuki rider, and he leads the Frenchman, David Vuillemin, on a YZ 450F as they come over the old finish line here at Southwick. And you can see these corners are starting to rut up. They go down into the bottom, a tight hairpin, and then back up to what's called the Buckley Berm. Probably the only corner in motocross that's named after a photographer, New England's own Paul Buckley.
You can see Hamblin blowing out of the berm there just a little bit, getting the back wheel on the other side of it, holding on the throttle. Vuillemin coming with the 2nd place at Hangtown, so we know he's been working at it. He has some speed, but right now Hamblin looks like the man of the moment.
So Sean Hamblin holds on to 5th. Vuillemin is 6th. They charge into the new section. This was added to the track just last year. Southwick, been around since 1972, and one of the most notorious stops in AMA Chevrolet motocross. It's rough, and it's getting rougher.
Well, you can watch, Hamblin on the 2-stroke and Vuillemin on the 4-stroke. See if you can see the difference where the bikes track and where they work differently. You see Vuillemin going out real quick and then firing in across, maybe having more power delivery. Sean trying to carry more speed all the way around the corner.
It seems like if these guys slow down on the 2-strokes, they just dig a hole trying to get going again.
Especially on up and down hills. And there's another time we're seeing Sean kind of blow through it, trying to hold so much momentum that he blows out of the rut or the berm.
You mentioned at the top of the show, Cameron, they didn't water as much as they normally do, and as a result, it's very dark, thin sand, and it's getting choppy, from sideline to sideline. There's just no place to rest out there.
And without the moisture, it's loose when it's on top of those berms. Normally, Vuillemin stalling the motorcycle, and see if he can get the 4-stroke started right up. He does. Traditionally, people have a hard time starting, especially when you don't really think about what's going on. Vuillemin doing a great job to get it fired back up.
Did get passed by his teammate, Tim Ferry, right then. So at the halfway point, Carmichael continues to lead. Vuillemin drops back another spot after he stalls the big thumper. And there you see Carmichael working his way through the lap traffic. Going back a little further, should be no, we're still on Carmichael. So Ricky working his way through lap traffic, comes up through the mechanics area. Speaking of the mechanics area, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Ricky had some concerns before the first moto.
Yeah, we're just concerned, the track's so sandy that you get your air filter gets hooked, and kind of hard for the bike to breathe, and it changes the way it runs. So hopefully you won't have to eat too much roost off some of the lappers. and make it through the rest of the moto with the bike running halfway decent.
Does it feel like you guys are back in the saddle 5 motos in?
It feels like last year's outdoor season, but it seems to be a little easier getting better starts, you know?
The 450 isn't hurting either.
No, riding an open bike's a little bit of an advantage.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Well, things are going good for Carmichael and Goose when their biggest concern is getting their air filters clogged by lapped riders. And Vuillemin goes down again. David Vuillemin. We saw him stall in the last lap. This time he falls in the corner after the checkered, well, after the finish line, and now Carmichael coming down.
Did you see that right there? Carmichael pulled the tail off. Looked like he threw it at Voss.
Look at that. You know, when you're the world supercross champion like Heath Voss, you probably don't think you're going to get lapped at that point in the moto. And Carmichael didn't look too happy about it.
Little head shake there as he went over the jump, too. So, you know, lapping up. I mean, he could conceivably lap into the top 5 here.
So there's Chad Reed. He is your second place rider. Going back to Kevin Windham. He has worked his way up from a mediocre start. But unfortunately, he's got a long way to go if he's going to get to Reed, and an even longer way to go if he's going to get to Carmichael. Kevin Windham working his way up through. Now here's Nick Way of the Suzuki factory team. Let's go back down to the mechanics area to Cameron Steele.
But Tony, it looks like your guys putting in quite an inspired ride right now.
Yeah, you know, the start really helps here, and you got a great start. We got teammate Sean Hamblin, you know, coming on, so hopefully he'll show his strength. He looks good right now. You've got about 15 minutes left.
What do you think it's been? I mean, is it just like he's finally breaking through and feels like he can do it, or was it the start? He nearly got the whole shot.
The start is so important. You know, Nick's a great rider. He's in great shape. It's mental with him, a lot of stuff. But, he's doing really good. I think he's working on the mental aspect of it. But, you know, Cameron, I think he's getting better all along. So I'm pretty happy with his performance right now.
So Nick Way putting in one of his best rides so far in the Outdoor Nationals. But Ricky Carmichael out front, going through the lapped riders. The most drama we've seen so far is whether or not Ricky can get through and stay clean. So Carmichael putting the finishing touches on a win here in the first moto. When we return, we'll see if anyone can catch him.
Join us all summer long for ESPN 25. This week on Who's Number One, we'll be counting down the worst teams from the 96 Tigers to the 1980 New Orleans A's. Who's Number One, followed by the headlines, Tuesday nights, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
It's Suzuki Summer Sizzler. Step into your Suzuki dealer for scorching deals on awesome select Suzuki motorcycles. Financing is as low as 4.95% APR when you buy select Suzuki motorcycles on approved credit. Or how about a cruiser touring package, which includes a windshield and saddlebags? Stop by your Suzuki dealer today for the smokin'est deal on your new Suzuki motorcycle. For the hottest deals on the coolest wheels, come on down to the Suzuki Summer Sizzler.
This royal throne of games, this scepter line, these precious stones soaked in the silver sea.
A tremendous effort.
Deserve this realm with his England.
Wimbledon, the 2004 championships. Coverage begins Monday on ESPN and ESPN2.
Now on DVD.
You cost us the game.
I want to play football. Playmakers, the most controversial series of the season.
Who is she?
This is who you are. With Smash Mouth Extras.
I will snap you at the knee.
Playmakers, the 3-disc box set.
The challenge is put forth. It is a time for heroes to rise and pretenders to fall. Heavyweight heroes. The battle for dominance is now. Brutal punches, gut-wrenching action. The ultimate test of wills. Which fighters have what it takes to become heavyweight heroes? And boxing's most beautiful warriors, perfect 10 models, battle on this field of honor. Order Heavyweight Heroes on Events in Demand, pay-per-view.
Get ready to rumble on Time Warner Cable.
Listen to Chikachi music, Macau, where the ladies love to dance and the men they take a chance with the sweetness of romance. Everybody get together, they clap their hands and sing this song now. Destiny Caribe, Destiny Cha Cha Cha, Chikachi music, Macau.
From mango jam to mango rockers and everything in between. Hilo Hattie.
Hi, I'm Ricky Johnson, former 7-time AMA Supercross and Motocross champion, and this is your Suzuki riding tip of the week. We're here at Southwick, Massachusetts, where there's deep sand, the sandiest race of the year. We'll make some small adjustments to the bike to keep the front wheel light, give the back wheel as much traction as possible, and give the bike as much horsepower because sand robs power from the machine. As we watch Sean Hamblin come around this right-hand sweeper, notice he's hard on the gas, body towards the back, letting his front wheel be light and not worrying about tracking too much with the front wheel. As he comes down the straightaway, the bike swaps a little bit from side to side. As soon as he gathers it back up with the throttle, rolls off the gas coming into the corner with little to no brake at all, rolls the power back on, weight off the back to keep that front wheel light and floating over the top of the hill. So now let's look at it at speed. That's your Suzuki sand riding tip of the week.
Well, RJ certainly knows how to ride the sand. He's won at Southwick twice before. Now he's trying to help Sean Hamblin and the rest of Team Suzuki move up. And right now, a battle developing between Nick Way, Sean Hamblin, and Tim Ferry. That rider right there, they are battling for fourth, and Ferry is bringing up the rear.
You saw Hamblin miss that double jump. A lot of cross ruts going up the face, sometimes really tough to tackle it. Let Ferry come up on him. Right now, Way right in front of Hamblin as well. So you see multiple lines working there. All three riders took a different line, so we'll see which one's going to work and where the payday is going to be. But Nick definitely got to ride in front of him and not be worried about what's happening behind him.
Well, Nick Way, he lives in Michigan, but there's some sand tracks up there, as our producer, B.J. Smith, will tell you. Baja Acres, one of Nick Way's favorite places to ride. He's putting that experience to good use, but don't forget, Ferry is from Florida, just like our leader, Ricky Carmichael, down into the bottom. That is Way. Now, here comes Hamblin trying to hold off Ferry. They'll go into the mechanics area next. A tough battle. You see the mechanics out there cheering them on. Way gets through, Hamblin gets through, and it's starting to tighten up. So your battle for fourth, as we see the mechanics putting the sign down, this one could be for a podium. You get up to fourth, and it's not too far to Kevin Windham. Oh, and Nick Way off the side of the track. There goes Ferry, and now here comes Hamblin. Nick Way makes a two-position mistake.
And what looks like is, it looks like Nick just mistimes the rhythm going into the corner, and you can't just bury the turn and go for it. You can't just sharp cut it. You got to flow around. He lets you go out the outside instead of maybe crashing. But Ferry, who already got past Hamblin, goes right by Way and moves up into fourth.
One of those instances where you don't want to stop your momentum. You're almost better to go off the side of the track than to come to a complete stop here in this sandbox to the south.
And if you grab your front brake, I mean, basically that's it. It's over now.
So Tim Ferry putting in a fantastic ride. You see the board out. We're coming down to the end of the moto. Ferry moves into the fourth. It is that rider, Ricky Carmichael, way out front. His mechanic told us he would probably start slowing down to save the filter from clogging up with too much sand. You see the lap riders roosted back. But Carmichael beginning his final lap here at Southwick. He is way out front and just absolutely in control. He's 4 for 4 so far in the AMA Chevrolet 250 Nationals this year. This would be his 5th straight moto win. Not bad for a guy who missed the entire Supercross season with a knee injury.
And people that question how he was going to be coming back, I mean, I knew Ricky was going to come back with this full game. And I know it's easy to say that now that we're 3 races in. But just knowing Ricky Carmichael, you know he's coming with all guns blazing.
So Goose Gosler right there, keeping an eye on his rider, Carmichael. He is getting ready to lap. Look at that. That is Sean Hamblin, the 6th place rider, Ricky Carmichael. He's out there going for it. Look at that. You know, right now, if you're Sean Hamblin, you want to get lapped, don't you?
I don't want to do another lap. So everybody finishes. Once the checker flag comes out for the winner, and Ricky just in dominating form right now, looking smooth. You can see him. Where most guys are jumping those tabletops and landing in that acceleration pit, he's jumping over it, just being smoother. Altogether, just a perfect moto for Ricky.
Cameron, is he the best sand rider in the world right now?
Well, how can you say not? But the other thing you got to ask yourself, you know, James Stewart also from Florida, and Tim Ferry's not a bad sand rider. But right now, I'd have to put my money on Ricky Carmichael, who's going to beat him heads up in the 250 class.
Carmichael has only lost here at Southwick once in 7 years, and that's when his bike broke, and John Dowd threw a big surprise at him back in 1998. But as it is, Ricky Carmichael, just another corner to go. This would put the first moto in the record books. Carmichael, his 5th moto win of the year, 5 in a row, perfect so far. Here comes the checkered flag. It's Carmichael once again. A nice outing in the sand for the 7-time national champion Carmichael. Staying perfect. Chad Reed, a long ways back, but Reed, a solid rod for second. Takes a look over his shoulder. He doesn't see anyone there. Reed will finish second. That's a good finish for Chad here at Southwick.
Such a polished Supercross rider, you know, seeing those two and how they finish here today makes you wonder about the Supercross season, and for next year, it's going to be quite a battle, but we're looking for Chad to get a little bit more speed, get a little more comfortable on that four-stroke. Might be able to come out and play with Ricky a bit outdoors.
This rider, we were expecting to be playing with Ricky at this point, Kevin Windham. He'll tell you Southwick isn't his favorite track, but he certainly has the potential to get out in front and win here. But so far today, he's got a ways to go if he's going to catch up to Ricky Carmichael. So it's Carmichael, Reed, and Windham in the first moto. When we return, we'll talk to our winners here at Southwick.
Introducing the 15 new Chevy Colorados. The most mid-sized trucks ever unleashed. Chevy Colorado. An American revolution.
Lisa asks, how do you get to the Athens 2004 Olympic Games? Practice. Or you can use Visa, the only card accepted at this summer's Olympic Games.
Let's say your hunting dog is coming into season. Well, you don't want more hunting dogs, you better fence her up. Let's show them how. And that's how a guy protects a lady's honor and keeps his place from going to the dogs. Go on, you dogs, get. Oops, Daisy, not you.
When you get nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, even diarrhea. Hey, there's Pepto-Bismol. Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Yay, Pepto-Bismol!
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Yay, Pepto-Bismol!
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Yay, Pepto-Bismol!
Now you know, Pepto treats 5 different stomach problems. You see, pink does more than you think.
Welcome back to AMA Chevrolet Motocross. We're in Southwick, Massachusetts, and Cameron is with our first moto winner.
Well, you definitely demoralized more than a few riders out there. You lapped up past 6th place. How was it moving through all the traffic?
It was crazy. The guys, I swear there's some guys out there that try to get in your way, and they're not even racing, and I swear as soon as you get up to them, they want to race. I'm like, dang, and just cover me. That didn't help my filter at all either. Like, as soon as I got into lap traffic, it seemed like my filter got clogged.
Well, great race. We'll see how it goes in moto number 2 and maybe get your 99th win.
I hope so. We're going to give it a heck of a try and try to get another good start.
Taking a look at our Suzuki results, Ricky Carmichael's the winner. Reed, Windham, Ferry, Way beats his teammate Hamblin. Heath, Voss rounds out the top 10. Joaquin Rodriguez in 11th. Going down through the results, Tyson Hansel, nice ride. Let's go back down to Cameron with our runner-up.
Second place in moto number 1 for Chad, and I want to ask you, I mean, it seemed like Ricky got out there a ways, but in the earlier part of the moto, you seemed like you had the speed to race with him. Did you decide to wait until Moto 2 to do the racing, or?
No, I just trying to find lines and just trying to take it moto by moto. You know, this is the Beats third. The last 2 weekends I got all thirds, so happy to make one step better. And you know, Ricky's strong in the sand, and you know, look forward to getting a good start and just watching what he has. You know, trying to learn from him. You know, the guy's phenomenal, and you know, I just want to get up there and be a challenge to him.
Well, take a look at the lap times. Reed, not that far off Carmichael's time. It's still 2 seconds behind. Let's go back down to Cameron. He's with K-Dub.
Well, Kevin, a lot of people would want to get 3rd place, and you look like you just didn't have a good time out there, did you?
No, I mean, everyone knows that this isn't my cup of tea riding in the sand. I didn't get off the gate like I wanted to. Caught a face full of sand at the beginning, but you know, just try to do the best I could to stay with these guys. And you know, Ricky's fast here, and you know, for me, let's come in here. Let's get through it the best we can and you know, save as many points as we can, because everyone knows he's going to be tough here. You know, there's tracks that I shine at, and there's tracks that he shines at, and I think this is one of them for him. So we'll go back, lick our wounds, be thankful that we didn't pack it in. You know, I've left here with my head buried in the sand a couple times with some crashes, so thankful to keep it on 2 wheels.
Nobody does more to protect your right to ride than the American Motorcyclists Association. Every racer on the track is an AMA member. How about you? Call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectLink.com. The AMA, rights, riding, racing. Well, the subject of this week's Outside the Lines is our good friend, Bernie Yellen. American motocross lost a true pioneer earlier this year when Bernie Yellen passed away at the age of 84. Best known as the founder of Southwick Motocross 338, he was a selfless giver who only wanted a place for the kids to ride. In 1972, when an established New England race was canceled, 4 members from the American Legion Post 338 stepped forward. Joe Bogie, Mo Rutherford, and Sam Smith were all led by Bernie Yellen, and together they created Southwick Motocross 338.
My dad was a giver who never wanted anything in return. I believed he looked at people and saw the best in people. You know, he always looked in the good. He always did a lot to help others. He believed in, you know, reaching out, and if you can help somebody, doing that. Very seldom, there's a lot of times that he would do things and tell people, you know, I'll send you a bill later, and he would never send the bill. You know, he was very giving, a very generous individual, you know, with a large heart, a big heart.
Another little-known fact about Bernie and Southwick is his contribution to the most important part of a motocross race, the start. Bernie felt a motocross start should be like that of a horse race, where every rider has his own individually falling gait. And with the invention of the backwards falling gait, Bernie Yellen has kept the starts in motocross fair since 1976.
No, if you know Bernie Yellen, you know that he was a guy in the background, and so many riders owe so much to him, many who don't even know of the work that he's done, not only here, but for the sport. He was the guy who came up with the concept of the backward falling gait. But if there was one word I could use to describe Bernie, it would be dedication. Bernie was dedicated to his Legion, to his town, to his country for which he served, and came back to continue to serve the rest of his life through the age of 84 years old, doing better things for the community.
Well, Bernie may no longer be sitting trackside on his mule, but you can bet the fans and the riders will never forget him or his gift to motocross. When we return, the second moto from Bernie's Motocross 338.
Some kids want to be motocross stars. Your kids want to be just like you. No matter what your age or ability, Suzuki's got you covered with a full line of off-road and trail bikes for you and your family. Suzuki.
Do you have the right truck?
The best-selling half-ton regular and extended cab is now available as a crew cab. It's got more standard horsepower, more torque, and more towing capacity than Ford or Dodge half-ton crews. Introducing the new Silverado half-ton crew. It's the right truck from Chevy.
Yeah, hi. I was wondering, can I get a wake-up call tomorrow morning, please? 8:30 a.m.? Yeah, the thing is, I was wondering, can I get that to go to my cell phone instead of my room? Oh, well, here's the thing. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna be in my room tomorrow, so I just thought if you could call my cell phone, it would cover all bases. Please?
Join us all summer long for ESPN 25. This Tuesday on Who's Number One, we'll count down the worst teams from the 96 Tigers.
All the energy was just sucked out.
To the 1980 New Orleans Saints.
Staff at the stands have bags over their heads.
And on the headlines, we'll revisit stories from the Tyson conviction.
Oh, yeah, he's not. He doesn't say it.
To the Williams sisters' domination.
Those two girls brought tears in my eyes many, many, many times.
Who's Number One and the headlines. Every Tuesday night, 7 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN 25, presented by McDonald's.
Welcome back to the Suzuki Nationals at Southwick, Massachusetts. We're getting ready for the second moto, and Cameron Steele is down on the line.
While you're looking at Ricky Carmichael right now, Bubba Stewart won earlier this afternoon of the 125s, making it 3 for 3 on the season. No two riders have ever started the season 3 for 3, so we'll see if Ricky Carmichael can break that and start a new streak. Also, if Ricky Carmichael wins this moto or just wins the overall, he will surpass Jeff Stanton as the winningest rider ever at Southwick. They're both tied at 4 wins.
Taking a look at our Honda starting grid, Carmichael, of course, at the top of the charts. Only 4 guys on that list finished on the same lap as he did in the first moto. Can we expect more of the same? We will see as soon as the card goes sideways. Keep an eye on 22, Reed, 14, Windham, and 15, Tim Ferry. Also, don't count out David Vuillemin, who faded back to 13th after a couple of crashes. Now, the card is sideways. Look at Carmichael right in the middle. He's wearing all red. He's got Hamblin on one side, Voss on the other, inching up. And this time, not quite the perfect start, but nonetheless, Cameron, it looks like he's got another hole shot.
Right to the front. You know what? You got to wonder what could happen to put Ricky Carmichael back. Really, it would be a mistake on his part. Everybody really needs to be on their game right now. Someone needs to get up right next to him, make a pass, make him think about it. If not, he could just check out.
There he goes, Carmichael in the lead. Then it's Hamblin on the Suzuki. Reed is second. Windham, a much better start. He is in 4th. Nick Way rounds out the top 5. Carmichael, he switched to Honda Red for the second moto, but he's showing everyone the back of that jersey. If you see Nick Way trying to hold off Kyle Lewis, the veteran privateer. This is the battle of second, though. The battle for second between Hamblin and Reed. Reed trying an inside line. Hamblin shuts him down right there.
We talked about Hamblin trying to carry his speed through the corners and sometimes blowing out. Reed with the 4-stroke may have an advantage. If Hamblin has just a little problem there, we see actually Reed hooking up a little much and coming around the corner farther than he anticipated.
Now Reed coming down on the inside, trying to get a wheel under Hamblin. Hamblin holds him off, up over the mound. They go into a bank corner here, and then one of the few man-made jumps on the track, and then they'll jump back into the new section. So there goes Reed.
Oh, Hamblin blowing a foot off. Wow. That's how rough it is. He G'd out at the bottom, blew a foot off the peg, and boom.
It looked like he hit a landmine.
It did. Big explosion, but the explosion was Reedy flying by.
And Hamblin lucky to hold on to 3rd. So there's the green flag. That signals the end of the first lap. All systems go. Look at that lead. Ricky Carmichael already gapping Chad Reed, Sean Hamblin, and Kevin Windham. Windham, a better start this moto, but already he's losing ground to Carmichael. You just can't do that. Come around to get into the mechanics area. Reed leads Hamblin and Windham. Carmichael already out of our picture. Let's go back up to the mechanics area. That's where Cameron is standing by with Factory Connection, Jonathan Hyland.
Well, Jonathan, you always want to come out with the win. This time it looks like it's going to be in 3rd place, but after talking to Kevin after the first moto, That's pretty good for him. He's feeling all right with that?
Yeah, well, last year we got 4-2 for, I think, 3rd overall. And Kevin doesn't like fans. And this would come to be consistent, stay on the podium. It's just as good as a win for him. He'll go to, you know, next race and try to kick butt there. But this place, he just comes. He's like, I got about 3 more hours and I'm on a plane out of here, so I'm over it.
Well, not exactly the most optimistic we've heard Kevin Windham or his mechanics out the island, but right now he's trying to get around Sean Hamblin out front. There's got to be a smile under that helmet. Actually, I don't think Carmichael ever smiles when he's racing. He is all business, and he is way out front. Chad Reed holds on to second, and you're looking at the battle for third. His team Suzuki, Sean Hamblin, leads Factory Connections, Kevin Windham. They're going into the back section.
Oh, and Hamblin, again, maybe trying to carry too much speed into that corner. He elects not to dive into that berm. He just goes straight out, saves himself, loses the position, but he doesn't want up the bike.
Same thing we saw Nick Way do in the first moto.
We don't need to beat it into the ground, but we've said it time and time again. You can't grab the brake in that situation or you're going to crash.
Especially on a 2-stroke. If you don't crash, the least you'll do is just dig yourself a hole. So Carmichael continues to lead. Kevin Windham has moved into third. Chad Reed is at lonely second. And Sean Hamblin is back and forth. You see the ruts starting to grow. The braking bumps starting to build into individual jumps, seemingly, as we get halfway through the second moto here. It's Carmichael, Reed, Windham, and Hamblin all the way over on the other side of the track by himself. Ricky Carmichael, if he holds on to this moto win, it would give him a career total of an astonishing 99 wins in AMA Motocross and Supercross, and that puts him 1 away from the century mark. That's never been done in any other form of AMA Pro racing. We've not seen it in superbike racing, flat track, hill climb, nothing. Carmichael, the most dominant winner in the history of the AMA.
Well, it leads you right into the next question. James Stewart going to the 250s next year. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, it should be an interesting battle. The longevity. How long will Ricky go and how many records will he set? And is James the guy that may come along and tear down some of those barriers?
Well, we may see those two guys get together again before that. If they team up for Team USA at the Motocross the Nations, a lot of pressure on those guys to pick a team right now, and everyone would like to see Carmichael and Stewart. Last year, Tim Ferry, number 15, was on that team, and now Ferry is back there dicing with his teammate, David Vuillemin. Vuillemin falls back to 13th in that first moto. He was riding hard, but he just made too many mistakes.
They have beach over there in France, right? You can ride in the sand growing up.
They certainly do.
And we saw Heath Voss getting laughed in moto number 1 by Ricky Carmichael, and Ricky somewhat maybe disgusted. I don't know if that's a little too strong of a word, maybe throwing his hair off at Heath, but you know, Heath and David both want to put in a better performance. And right, oh, David working it. If this sand is loose and bikes are blowing out, and you see Berner right there getting a little sideways, coming over into the rider next to him, Tim Ferry.
Yeah. So you have two strokes, Ernesto Fonseca and Mike Byrne leading a pair of big thumpers, and those are piloted by Tim Ferry and David Vuillemin. We're halfway through the second moto at Southwick Motocross 338. The track is getting rough. Everyone is bunching up except for that guy out front. Ricky Carmichael continues to lead everyone. When we return, it's the race to the checkers. Carmichael leads them all.
Hey, Brad! Hi, Steve. There's an Echo in your garage. Yeah. My new Echo grass trimmer. It has iStart.
Echo's iStart technology reduces starting effort by 75%. And with Rapid Loader, line changes are now lightning fast. Put an Echo in your garage. For your nearest dealer, call 1-800-432-ECHO.
Riding teaches responsibility, builds confidence, and can turn children into champions.
I wanna ride, I wanna ride, I wanna ride. Gotta ride it, gotta ride it. Gotta ride it, gotta ride it. Ride it, gotta ride it.
The 4-stroke CRFs from Honda. Every champion needs a good start. Now get up to $200 in bonus bucks with the purchase of select CRF models.
This royal throne of games, this scepter lies. These precious stones set in the silver sea.
Tremendous effort.
Deserve this reign with his England.
Wimbledon, the 2004 championships. Coverage begins Monday on ESPN.
He's called Yamato Damashi. He's from Hawaii, but he's a legend in Japan, and he's coming home. Super Brawl has never seen a fighter like Ensign Inoue. Now available for video on demand. Super Brawl 35. Ensign Inoue versus knockout artist Tom Sauer. They're both in for the fight of their lives. Super Brawl 35. Now available for video on demand.
BMW X3. Now for a limited time, lease the BMW X3 3.0i for $359 a month.
Welcome back to AMA Chevrolet Motocross from Southwick Motocross 338. We're watching the battle for 8th between Mike Byrne and Tim Berry. Cameron, we talked about American motocross having a heavy heart, having lost Bernie Owen. It's been a tough week for Australia, too.
It sure has. I was talking to Berner earlier, and a guy that we all knew, I got to know through freestyle, John O'Porter, passed away riding motocross in a motorcycle accident back in Australia. And I know all the Australian guys are thinking about him. Such a good guy, and everybody talked about him being the Travis Pastrana of Australia, first guy to do a backflip there, and, you know, doing both sports and a real sad passing. And Chad Reed was really close friends with him, and it must be weighing heavily on him.
Chad Reed said that Jono made him work harder as he was coming up through the ranks. So our condolences go out to everyone in Australia. And there's a rider at the side of the track, that's Shane Kelleher. And it, whoa! He DNF'd, but his helmet certainly just took a beating. His helmet is obviously out of this race as well. Some of the frustrations of Southwick coming through for that privateer. We've moved back up to the battle for 5th. This is Nick Wade leading another privateer, the top privateer in the field at this point. Moto Triple X's Kyle Lewis.
And, you know, Nick Wade's having another good moto, and he really needs it. He hasn't been having any real luck on the outdoors, and he's poised right now for a top 4 or 5 finish overall if he keeps this together. And watching him slice up that berm up there by the mechanics area, that was sick. It looked like he was surfing, just kind of plowing the line, and just a big fan of spray, or well, sand in this case.
Well, Nick Wade is one of those guys like Sean Hamblin, Ernesto Fonseca. He's out there racing for a job right now, not signed up for 2005. We have received word that Chad Reed, the Supercross champion, is going to stay with Yamaha, holding on to his deal there and getting ready to defend the championship next year. Chad Reed will stay with Yamaha, and we'll see where the pieces falling together for guys like Nick Way and Ernesto Fonseca and some other guys looking for work.
Well, you talk about Nick Way, and here's Ricky Carmichael, 2 guys back-to-back on the covers of your magazine, Racer X. And, you know, I think I wanted to mention real quick how cool the cover is in the back page of your magazine with Ricky. You know, you got to check it out this dance, people. It's something to behold. And Ricky Carmichael definitely earned all the accolades he gets. And amazing ride here today so far.
So dominant, they had to give him 2 covers. Now, David Vuillemin trying to recover from that tough first moto ride. You see him going through the sand right there. He has moved past Ernesto Fonseca as they go through the rough section in the back. Starting to move up a little bit on Berner. Berner riding the KX 250. He's on a 2-stroke. Not a lot of them out there, but right now, Vuillemin is sandwiched between a couple of them. Burns Kawasaki and Fonseca's Honda. This is your runner-up, Chad Reed. Just like the first moto, he's having a lonely go of it. He's all by himself in second. He's riding hard. If not for Carmichael, he'd be our leader.
Well, you know, everybody's kind of dogged him on the whole outdoor motocross, but if you're watching Chad Reed ride out here, he's flowing, he looks good, he's attacking the whole time, he's not getting real squirrely. It may just be a little bit more of a learning curve like we already talked about on that 4-stroke. You know, he grew up riding 2-strokes, right into the 250 class in Australia. Never really had a shot at these bikes, so I think it's just going to take a little bit to get used to.
Another thing to keep in mind, Cameron, it took Jeremy McGrath 2 years after winning his first Supercross title to win an outdoor title. if all things work out the same, and Chad Reed really is the next Jeremy McGrath, he might be our 2005 AMA Chevrolet Motocross champion. So Byrne continues to lead Fonseca as Fonseca goes back and forth with Vuillemin. Vuillemin's going to come in and make another pass on the inside. You see Ernie had to get on the brakes right there.
And maybe another case of the four-stroke having the option to go where it wants on the track. Ernie having to stay on that outside. As you see him again there, trying to carve around the outside. Vuillemin goes out and then in.
Keeping that momentum going. Now Carmichael getting deep in the lap traffic again. The first moto, he lapped past the sixth-place rider, and that's the real drama at the top of the field. How far out front is he going to get? How far can he gap Chad Reed? They didn't get to race Supercross, but they will next year, and I'm sure the people at Yamaha are already looking forward to that. In fact, let's go to Cameron down in the Yamaha pit.
Well, there they are in first and second again. Is there anything Chad can do to catch Ricky? What do the lap times say?
I don't know. The lap times are saying things aren't looking so good. Like, he might make a second one lap, but then he'll lose a second the next, so it's tough. He's just trying to kind of stay even with him. He's been jacking with his goggles a little bit, so I don't know if he's got a vision problem right now or not, but hopefully it don't come into play.
It's only 3 races in, but you guys start thinking about this championship. You got to do something to stop the Ricky Carmichael freight train.
Yeah, every week he goes home and he spends, you know, he takes his rest day and he spends it thinking about what he can do, and he comes back faster and more prepared and stronger every week. But kid's badass. What do? We'll try.
Well, Darren Sorensen was the Supercross Mechanic of the Year as he and Chad Reed won that title. They'll be teamed up again as Chad Reed, as we said earlier, is going to stay with Yamaha. So Carmichael continues to lead here in the second moto. We are winding down the laps at the Suzuki Nationals at Motocross 338 in Southwick, Massachusetts. We'll be right back.
Suzuki Summer Sizzler is here with incredible deals. Stop into your Suzuki dealer today for some of the hottest financing available. Payments are $45 per month at 5.95% APR for 36 months on approved credit when you buy select Quad Runner and Quad Sport ATVs. Get the Quad Runner ATV you want at a price you'll love. That's Summer Sizzler. Stop into your Suzuki dealer today.
Good food. Just one more thing to love about Outback, where you can enjoy our crispy coconut shrimp and our royal pork catch. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
I've been a hog farmer all my life, and I ain't never seen anything like these Fram air hogs. Yeah! Crazy critters scaring the chickens. And the missus, too, to be honest. Mind you, folks can't wait to get their hands on them.
The Fram Air Hog High Performance Air Filter, designed to allow more airflow for increased acceleration and horsepower. They breathe in, you peel out. Fram Air Hog, hog the road.
How did we get the natural fiber of Metamucil powder into convenient capsules? Let's just say it wasn't easy. All the benefits of Metamucil in capsules. Get regular, stay regular, the convenient way.
Join us all summer long for ESPN 25. This week on Who's Number One, we'll be counting down the worst teams from the 96 Tigers to the 1980 New Orleans A's. Who's Number One, followed by the headlines, Tuesday nights, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
The 2004 AMA Chevrolet Motocross Championships are brought to you by Suzuki, maker of performance-driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. By Chevrolet, 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. The new Chevrolets, an American revolution. And by Cycle World magazine. Check out the top 10 best bikes of 2004 in the July issue on newsstands right now. Back to the racing, Ricky Carmichael out front and pulling away. This would be his 6th straight moto win to start the 2004 outdoor season, and also his 99th career victory. An unbelievable record. In second place, Chad Reed. the Supercross champion from Australia. Moving up to third is Kevin Windham. He rides for Factory Connection Honda, and he has not had the starts that he would need. And Nick Way is on the side of the track, and it looks like that bike's done, Cameron.
Looks like a dead soldier, as they say. No more dirt bike ride today for Nick Way, and super sad. And right here, I believe this is the battle for 6th place.
It is. David Vuillemin has moved around his teammate Tim Ferry. You see him almost start to gap him right there as Carmichael takes the white flag. Ricky Carmichael way out front. You just caught a glimpse of Ferry. He just lapped him. Ferry slowing way down here on the last lap. Lets Carmichael go by, but really, what kind of defense can you put up to this man?
There really isn't, and he's kind of slowing down right now in the Sandstorm 04. And oh no, not the high five on the last lap. Everything coming together for Ricky Carmichael today, and he's been so perfect. You watch him, if you get a chance to see him again rail something first, not that he's ever hitting the brakes. He's just letting the sand do all the work for him. He's just been polished smooth all day, and I kind of dig the new red and black here he's running too from Fox.
He looks good in it. You know what? I really wish John Dowd had been out here today. John Dowd, the Southwick veteran racing the Canadian Nationals, he told me on Thursday he wished he could ride. Maybe he could keep Ricky honest. He said he could probably keep the other 38 guys behind him, but we may have seen a race. But as it is, Carmichael pretty much all alone all day long. But you know what? It's like it's a pleasure to watch the guy, no matter how far out front he gets. You see, he's lapped Tim Ferry. He's cruising in. This would be 99 career wins, an unbelievable tally. Next week at Budds Creek, he goes for the century mark.
Goes for the 100, and you know, in Tim Ferry's defense, he still is recuperating from that broken wrist, and man, that thing looked horrible not too long ago. It's good just to have Tim back on the bike, and hopefully we'll see him up there battling with Ricky soon.
I went down at Tim Ferry, longtime veteran, hard charger for Team Yamaha. This is his younger teammate, Chad Reed. All three of them will be together next year. Ferry, Vuillemin, and Chad Reed, and they'll be going after this guy, but next year he'll be on a different color bike. And look, Carmichael looks like he's going to let Ferry get by him. Carmichael's out waving at people, and Timmy went ahead and unlapped himself. He's not too proud.
Yeah, exactly.
And here comes Fonseca, too.
It almost looked like Ricky thought for a second that it was the other Yamaha, the 22. You see a little bit of the panic there. It looked like he got back on the throttle.
So Ricky Carmichael gets passed twice on the last lap, but don't worry, folks. Those guys were unlapping themselves. Carmichael, 99 career wins, gets his 5th in a row in the 250 class here at Southwick. He owns that record all by himself. He's no longer tied with the team Honda advisor, Jeff Stanton. Carmichael, yet another entry into the American motocross record books. Chad Reed comes across to take 2nd. That's his best outdoor finish of the year. 2-2 at Southwick moves him up to 2nd in the standings. And there's your Suzuki results. Carmichael, Reed, Windham, Hamblin, and Lewis. Kyle Lewis, an excellent 2nd moto ride. He scores 5th in top privateer. Clark Stiles is 11th, and Daniel Papoon gets his first points. Let's go down to the winner's circle with Cameron.
I was working, you know, Chad was keeping a good pace, and I just kept trying to pull away, and challenge myself. And it was a good race. Really happy with the way the Honda worked today, and I got killer starts, dude. I had the right Dunlops on, and just really happy. 99th win, like you said, and next weekend, if I could pull it off, I really like Budds, so 100 wins would be unbelievable.
Ricky Carmichael, your overall winner. Take a look at our Suzuki scoreboard. Reed, Windham, Hamblin, and Tim Ferry round out the top 5. Let's go back down to Cameron.
A 2-2 for 2nd overall. Great performance this weekend, Chad. I know you would have liked to won it, and I know that you have a heavy heart. One of your friends from Australia, actually a really good guy that a lot of us knew in motocross, passed away this last week, John O'Porter. It had to be a tough week on you.
Oh, definitely. You know, it was a lot of late nights trying to, you know, keep up with the progress that he was doing, and you know, a phone call to his father and things like that, and you know, things like that really really sad, and you know, the guy, I grew up with him as a kid, and he lived at my house and things like that, so it was tough on me and a lot of other people.
Taking a look at our AMA Chevrolet Motocross Championship standings, Carmichael extends his lead to a moto and a point. He's 26 up on Kevin Windham and Chad Reed, who jointly own second. And there's Ricky holding up the Bernie Yellen Award for determination, a new award presented here at Southwick. That's Diane Peebles. She and Brad Belcher and the whole Southwick crew did their best to put on a great event. Our next broadcast will be from Budds Creek. You can catch the 125 action on Sunday at 2 p.m. The 250 action follows at 3 p.m. That's June 27th. So for Cameron Steele, I'm Davey Coombs saying so long, everyone, from Southwick Motocross 338. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Join us next time when Ricky Carmichael goes for number 100.
Final